another video today. I will, but due to the circumstances, what we got to, man, we lost a great one today. R.I.P. Nipsey Hussle. Nipsey Hussle was just pronounced dead. Oh, Jesus. Jesus. Lord have mercy. Man, I ain't gonna lie, y'all. That really, really, really. That's a hard one, bro. Cause this is a brother who was, by all accounts, was really, man, trying to make a difference in his community. Nipsey Hussle was just gunned down south of Crenshaw at his clothing store, the Marathon store. This afternoon, Nipsey Hussle had just tweeted out, uh, having strong enemies is a blessing. And he was murdered right after tweeting it. Right after tweeting, I mean, probably minutes after tweeting it out. Nipsey was murdered. Nipsey Hussle was just gunned down. He was shot 6 times. One of the shots were to the head. Videos are surfacing all over online of the paramedics performing CPR on Nipsey. And even though I prayed for the brother, but in the back of my mind, I had already observed the fact that Nipsey was the only one on the ground. It was 3 people that were shot. One was pronounced dead, but at first they weren't saying who the one person was. But I already knew once they said it was Nipsey. And the reason why is because, unfortunately, Nipsey was the one that was laying on the ground that the paramedics were performing CPR on. If it was whoever the person that's performing, that he's the only one they were performing the CPR on. So when they said somebody was pronounced dead, it had to be him. It had to have been him. If it was anybody else, we would have saw that person in the video line on the ground. I've seen a few, mostly respect, so I'm not going to really focus on the negative. But I've seen a couple people online crack a few jokes. I saw a white guy online, Tom something. I ain't going to even make you famous. But you're a coward, bro, for making a joke about this man dying. That man was a family man. That man had a whole family at home. Wife, kids, beautiful family. And he wasn't out here promoting no negativity in his community. So for you to make a joke out of his death just shows us you're a coward anyway. And I hope you die of AIDS and burn in hell. I ain't gonna even say that. I pray for you, bro. Because for you to even make a joke like that just speaks volumes about where you at in life. And it's probably why you still a local news reporter. You're not, your name ain't ringing bells like that. I just happened to come up on your tweet looking for, tweets relating to Nipsey. It's just terrible that Nip had to go out like that, man. This man had what's so crazy about the situation is Nipsey had just taken a photo with a fan. A little kid. Looked like he was about my son's age. Little kid looked like he's probably 1 year old. Little kid had a red shirt on. He was a biracial kid. His mother was white. She was standing right there next to him. And they were taking a picture with Nipsey. The little boy, Nipsey, hugs him and takes, puts his arm around the kid and takes a picture with him. And right after that, Nipsey is killed. That picture is going to be iconic because it's the last photo of Nipsey. And that just speaks volumes about that man's character. The last photo we saw of Nipsey is a photo of him hugging a fan. It ain't no photos of him being negative. It's not no photo. The last image we have of Nipsey is not him being negative. The last image we got of Nipsey was Nipsey giving back. Nipsey was standing in front of a store that the only reason why he even purchased was because the original owner of that store was not allowing the black kids in the neighborhood at that store. They wouldn't even allow them to hang out or be around that store, period. So Nipsey stepped in and purchased that store to make that a staple in the community, to make that somewhere where the kids can feel comfortable to come to. And he was murdered in front of his own project of redemption. His own project of giving back. He was murdered in front of him. Ooh, man, that's terrible. Man, that's terrible, brother. That's terrible. The last image, though, that if anybody was to go out of the way, you would want your last image to be something positive. And you can't take that away from Nip. You can't take that away from Nip. The last image we have of Nip was Nip taking a picture with a fan, a child, embracing that child, giving back, standing in front of the store he purchased for the community. So yes, Nipsey should be held like one of the greats of our time, one of the gods of our time. Absolutely. That brother died in a position he didn't even really have to be in. Now I'm saying that he was in that position out of positivity, because the original reason he purchased this store was out of positivity. The only reason why he was in that position to even be killed was because he was taking photos with fans. So he was shot 6 times, 1 to the head. He was shot. As you can see in the video, you can see the paramedics turning his body over sideways to perform CPR on him. You can see them pumping really hard, as if there was no pulse and no life. And at that moment, I knew he wasn't stable. And he was the only one they were performing CPR on. But one thing about it, bro, like I said again, I'm going to say that once and I'm going to say this again. The last image we have of Nipsey Hussle was an image of positivity, was an image of this brother giving back to the community. This brother was standing out in front of his store, holding another fan, a child, taking a picture, doing something positive, and standing in front of a store again. That the only reason why he purchased was because the kids in that store in the neighborhood weren't allowed to be at that store from the original owner. So he bought the store from their owner so that the kids in that neighborhood could have somewhere to frequent. And then they gunned this man down in front of the very spot he was using to give back to the community. Lord have mercy, the irony in that situation. Now we got another young black brother, young, 33 years old. A whole family at home. Lord Lundy got to go the rest of her child's life raising her child without her father in her life. Over something probably stupid. Now let's get to the cause of what the motives are. Because a lot of people are saying right now, there's a documentary that Nipsey Hussle was getting ready to put out by Dr. Sebi, who is the doctor who put out an ad in the New York Times that he had found the cure for AIDS. And he was going to be able to cure AIDS and treat AIDS and be able to eliminate the virus for the most part. They weren't going to allow that. I don't know if that had something to do with it, but the coincidence is awfully untimely. It's awfully untimely. All this brother was doing was promote positivity in the neighborhood. He wasn't perfect. He got a few fights on TV. I mean, on the surface and on the internet that he was in. You know, he slapped the guy at the BT Awards. Man, they don't make that man an animal. I seen a TV reporter on Twitter making fun of Nipsey. Now, how you gonna make fun of somebody passing? A father, a husband. Brother, what if somebody did that to you? What if somebody did that to you? Took you from your family, left your kids without a father, and made jokes about it. Man, y'all got to do better, bro. It was a white person that did that. There was some black people that did it too. So it wasn't just no white person thing. Because I seen black kids making jokes. I seen black dudes using this opportunity as a chance to post their music up under tweets pertaining to Nipsey's death. Now, I'm not going to knock no other brother, because you can argue that me making this video benefits from his death. But one thing about it, bro, I wouldn't put my music up like that, because my music don't pertain to Nipsey. So out of respect for that brother, I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't do that. And you wrong for doing that, man. And you know who you are. You know who I'm talking to. We got to do better as a people, brother. We got to. There's too much senseless violence. Too much. And what's the problem is the gun is just being popularized amongst pop culture. I'm looking at my little young niggas on when they post videos here live locally. My young niggas posting with guns on them. For what? They ain't even posting videos of them throwing hands no more, showing how hard they fist the knuckle game is, or showing how quick they strike it. They showing you what they shooting. That's all. That's all they know to do now. When I listen to the young niggas rap and freestyle, they can't even bust one freestyle without mentioning them shooting somebody or mentioning the gun. They can't even bust a freestyle without it. That's what we at as a society. This Dr. Sebi documentary could very well have a lot to do with it. All of a sudden, coincidentally, this boy started working on the Dr. Sebi documentary, and he ended up taking out in LA. All the rappers that are popular that have been assassinated for political reasons were killed on the West Coast. Big, Nipsey, Pac. Who else? Who else? Because at this point, we got to really stand up as a people and ask ourselves what's really going on in our community. Why are our greats constantly being shot and murdered? Why are our greats constantly being gunned down over senseless stuff? Why is it that? I'm not speaking, I wouldn't dare speak death in nobody's culture. So I'm not putting that on nobody else's, I'm not trying to speak that into nobody else's culture. But I do want to know, why is it so embedded in ours? Why is the spirit of murder so present amongst our culture? Why is that? Where are we as a people today? Dr. Sebi posted an ad in the New York Times about curing AIDS, and he was immediately executed. Then Nipsey comes and decides to do a documentary on Dr. Sebi curing AIDS and then being executed, and then Dr. Sebi is executed. It's unreal, man. That's unreal that that boy lost his life this afternoon. And the last image of Nipsey had just tweeted out, having stronger enemies is a blessing. He died right after making that tweet. He had just taken a picture with a fan, a little kid. Like I said about the son, my son's age. And he died moments after taking that picture with that kid. So I will say, y'all can't take that from Nipsey. The last thing Nipsey put into this earth, the last thing Nipsey gave us was moments of positivity. From that tweet to even that picture to the location he died in, which was a location where he only purchased his store because he was giving back. All three elements of that was positivity. He wouldn't have been standing in front of that store if he hadn't purchased it, because the original owner of that store was discriminating against black kids in the neighborhood. I know, it was the Marathon store. The store was called the Marathon store. And he had purchased that store from the owner because the guy wasn't allowed the young black kids in their neighborhood to shop at that store. So he purchased that store for the community, taking pictures with the kids. He don't gain nothing from that. Nipsey a star. But Nipsey knew that was the right thing to do, was to give back to his fans. He taking a picture with the kids. Then he tweets out, having stronger enemies is a blessing. A positive outlook on dealing with enemies. I'm grateful that I even got strong enemies, because I wouldn't even, if I wasn't shit or I wasn't worth shit, my enemies I wouldn't have enemies. So he was being grateful for that, even in that midst of such a negative moment. He knew he was going to die. Nip had a feeling he wasn't going to probably make it. For him to even tweet that out. Well, I'm not going to say he anticipated his death or nothing like that. But the coincidence and the timing. My brother tweeted out a positive outlook on having enemies. My brother posted, just taking a picture with his fans. A positive spin on life. And Nipsey didn't even make it past that store. The deepest thing about that is from my understanding, Nipsey was murdered in front of his family. From my understanding, Laura London and his daughter were there. Now I'm not certain that's true, but from my understanding, that's what the rumors are, that his daughter and Lauren London were both there. So he was gunned down in front of his family. Imagine it. That baby got to go the rest of her life with the image of her head of her father being gunned down in front of her. That woman, Lauren London, got to go the rest of her life raising her child with the thought of knowing they watched the father be murdered in front of them. And we got to do better. And we got to find out what's really going on with this Dr. Sebi documentary. If this is the reason why Nipsey died, we as a people owe it to Nipsey to carry out his work with the Dr. Sebi documentary. We owe that to Nipsey. Because if this is the reason why Nipsey died, because of this Dr. Sebi AIDS documentary, then we owe that to that man to carry on his mission and to see to it that that documentary is brought to the light. To see to it that that information is shared with the public. To see to it that we know what Nipsey was putting together long term. We owe that to that man. We don't owe him nothing else. We owe him that. So make sure that documentary sees the light of day. We need that information ASAP. Because we need to know what our brother was just taking from us over. If that was truly the case. And more than likely it was. More than likely that documentary had something to do with that boy's death. Because I can't see no Crips or no Bloods in LA being dead. Even though it is possible. But my God, if it was some gang-related incident where they were just being petty and killed this man, took this man's life in front of his kids, in front of a store that he had purchased to give back to the community, then I don't know what to say, man. I don't even know what to say. I'm ashamed of my own culture if that come out to be the case. If it comes out that the documentary was not the reason, and that the reason was simply a gang-related incident or a fight or an argument that turned sour, man, I'm embarrassed for my culture. I'm embarrassed for my people if that's the case. And we took such a prominent leader from our society over something so petty. I am embarrassed to call myself a member of the community. Shout out to Geo Engineering, brother. Appreciate you, man. But that I appreciate you too, man. That really touched my heart, brother, as a father, myself, and as an artist. I might not be nowhere near to the level of Nipsey yet. But I understand the struggle of trying to make something positive out of your art and make something happen. You know what I'm saying? And that man being taken away as a father. Exactly, bro. So you can relate too, Gio. I appreciate that understanding. You know what I'm saying? That man being taken away from his community, his family. I can relate to that as a father myself. We got a lot to work on with this society, man. We call our own hip-hop, bro. We got a lot of skeletons to address. If this man was murdered and it wasn't for political gain, if his murder was over something senseless, gun violence, we got a lot of work to do, folks. We got a lot of work to do. Because it ain't no reason in the world why this man was taken away from us. It's nothing legit. Yeah, that's what I said too, brother. The Dr. Sebi connection is crazy. Absolutely. The fact that we live in a society where that's another thing too. We're gonna make sure that Nipsey's death is not in vain. Because if Nipsey died because of the Dr. Sebi documentary, I'm finna really hit home. Appreciate that, Gio. Appreciate that. If y'all watching live, do like Gio, man. Hit that sub button, man. I appreciate that. Appreciate that. There's more content is gonna consistently come. Now I'm gonna say this about Nipsey's death. We gonna make sure his death was not in vain. Because if that documentary is the reason why he died, then we need to take issue to Big Pharma. Because Big Pharma is killing people because they don't want the information to get out that there's another route, there's an alternative route to surviving and living and being healthy other than taking medication, mainstream medication. That's what this needs to get down to. If that man died, we as a people, either way, whether it's gun violence or whether it's Big Pharma, we as a nation of black people, colored people need to rise up and speak up on that issue, man. It ain't no reason in the world why this man should have been killed just for sharing information, vital information in our community. You mean to tell us that since we know about an alternative route, Big Pharma gonna kill us? The pharmacy industry is gonna kill us off only because we know that you ain't gotta pop pills, you ain't gotta be vaccinated in order to survive anymore. It's 2019. We have access and resources to other forms of medical remedy. We ain't got to take diabetic medicine anymore because they got black seed oil. We don't need diabetic medicine anymore. We're going straight to our people now. Black seed oil. You got indigestion, black seed oil. Exactly. On purpose killing us all because they profit. So, but that the information there itself, bro, we got to do something about that. We got to do something about that. We got to do something about that. We can't allow them to take our leaders from us over information being leaked out. Because we know it's a better route now. We ain't taking that pharmaceutical spill anymore. We bigger than that now. We ain't falling for it no more. Big Pharma got to answer to us, man. If you took one of our greatest leaders out because they want because you want to continue to profit off of our people. You don't want us to find out there's a cure for AIDS, and it's been a cure for over 20 years now. Dr. Sebi came out with his own form of cure for the AIDS virus, and all of a sudden, Dr. Sebi gets taken out, and then Nipsey Hussle dies just from making a documentary about it. How is that possible? How is that possible? Turmeric or oregano garlic, they never put that in food. But all that BS, absolutely, OG, I agree with you wholeheartedly. My wife was just talking about how affordable certain seasons are because they want to burn you out. They want to put that acidity on your heart. They want that stuff to slowly burn and eat at your organs. They don't want you to know about oregano garlic. They don't want you to know about the real stuff. Absolutely not. They want us to continue to eat silicone, glucose stuff. That's just the facts. That's why if we don't do nothing else as a people, either we need to be figuring out if it was a senseless gun violence killing, then we need to be rising up and demanding more standards in the hip-hop industry. Or if that was a killing about Dr. Sebi's documentary, then we need to be demanding that Big Pharma answer to us for taking our leader from us over some bullshit. Because you want to continue to profit off our people without knowledge and information. You want to continue to keep our people in the dark about the fact we ain't got to continue to buy your pills. We ain't got to continue to take your insulin. We ain't got to continue to go to your dialysis clinics. Because we got alternative routes. We can drink distilled water, oregano, garlic. We can take black seed oil. It's alternative routes to this stuff nowadays. We ain't got to sit there and take what grandmama was forced to take. But you know what? One thing about it, grandmama didn't want to take it all them pills either. That's our generation that became so pill addicted. That's our generation. Grandmama didn't want popping pills like that back in the day. Them folks found herbs and other remedies, natural remedies, putting onions on their feet, all type of stuff that they were able to come up on alternative routes that kept them living. Grandmama lived 70, 80, 90 years. Here we are listening to Big Pharma, listening to the white man tell us about medication, and we dying at 40, 50, 35. Exactly. The soy, exactly, G.O. turning up today, put plenty of information out. The soy, the estrogen, absolutely. Soy is producing estrogen in our people. A lot of us don't even know that the amount of soy we intake eventually pumps estrogen. That's why a lot of our men are so feminine. And they don't want to stand up no more. They want to switch. And all that old shit. With respect, I ain't knocking nobody. Everybody got their own thing. But I'm just telling the truth. A lot of us don't realize why a lot of us have certain hormones or certain feelings or neurotic thoughts It's because of the food and the contents that we put in our body. Straight up. Like that man said, like geoengineering said, bro, we putting all this high fructose syrup and all this stuff, all this soy and shit in our body on a constant basis every day. I ain't gonna lie, my wife just went and bought some McDonald's, Big Mac bacon burger. Sadly, I'm finna eat it. But I have been working better at getting off all that. I have definitely been working on, because I usually don't even never eat McDonald's. The only reason why I did because I'm craving that burger with the bacon, all they got me with it. But even that, I'm a walking contradiction to this. Because we got to do better, including myself. You ready to eat these silicone ass fries. Tea with all that sugar in it, killing the nigga kidneys. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely, but I got to do better too. I agree, and I appreciate you putting the information up to even to up my game more. Because that let me know it's another brother that's aware of what's going on too, and I got to do better. Because I got to be here to live, see my kids. Trying ain't good enough. I need to do better. I'm sitting over here sweating now. I only been doing doing live for 25 minutes because I'm out of shape. Can't handle the pressure of the heat and all that old crap. So I got to do better myself, get my fat ass in shape. But we as a people, bro, we owe that to Nipsey, man. We can't let that man die in vain. That man died today. And we got to figure out what the true reason was. Because if the true reason was the Dr. Sebi documentary, then blacks need to take a stand against Big Pharma right now. We as a people, it ain't even just a black thing. This is an everybody thing. Because if you want to keep it a buck, Big Pharma to hit the white people harder than they have blacks. White folks more turned out on the dope than we is. So this is a society, this is a people issue. This ain't even a race issue. This is a society issue. But specifically amongst blacks, because we don't have as many doctors as they do. So we forced to listen to them a lot of times versus them listening to us a lot of times. That's why I said, particularly with the black community, this should be a specific issue, a priority. We got to stop taking everything from these folks, bro. We got to start pushing back. Hey, man, what was up with Nip getting killed? That man died in front of his store this afternoon, in front of his kids. That man died right after taking a picture with a 1-year-old fan. Giving back to the community. Nip ain't got to be at that store. Other than showing his face around the store to keep it legit. But he ain't got to be at that store. For real. Nip doing his thing. We bumping Nip everywhere. Nip ain't got to be in front of that store. Nip was in front of that store taking pictures with fans, giving back, letting his presence be seen, letting LA, letting the South of Crenshaw know, I ain't left y'all. I'm still here. I'm still here with y'all. And he died amongst the people. We couldn't even save our leader. Man walked right up on Nipsey and murdered this man in front of his whole family. Our leader in front of our people. What the fuck are we going to do about it? And I'm not just making a video to be making. I'm not just yelling to be yelling. I truly mean it from the core of my soul. What the fuck are we going to do about it? Are we going to continue to allow our leaders just be taken without setting new standards? Or are we going to just eventually not have leaders? Because what y'all don't know, after they kill off enough of us, they gonna continue, hip-hop is going to continue to go. Because guess what they going to do? The whites going to take over, baby. And just like rock and roll, hip-hop will have a white face to it. You won't even associate hip-hop with blacks after a while. So we can continue to allow them to take our leaders away, or we can push back. Simple as that. But one way or other, the information from Dr. Sebi's documentary on curing AIDS needs to come to the light. That's facts. Anybody else saying different, you kidding yourselves. This is Ed Memphis. This is Square Business Sports, Square Business